We're here at world famous Beale Street, the home of the blues, the crossroads of America's music. And Lieutenant George W. Lee, who was the unofficial mayor of Beale Street back in the middle of the 20th century, said Beale Street was a mile of vice and commercial ambition owned by the Jews, policed by the whites, and enjoyed by the Negroes. Because it was a segregated city. This was a sanctuary area after the Civil War for sharecroppers and freed slaves to come up into Memphis and congregate on the Beale Street 10-block area here. And this was just 10 blocks of hardware stores, grocery stores, jewelry stores, department stores, variety stores, businesses of all kinds. In the middle of the century, there was 12 barber shops here with 39 barbers. But it was the main street of Black America is what they said at the time. And then during the middle of the century, we started having desegregation and urban renewal in our community. There was over 3,000 buildings torn out of the downtown area during the urban renewal years. A lot of Beale Street buildings became empty. The business went away. As we've talked about in the suburbanization of our community, some of these buildings collapsed. And then in the 1980s, there was an effort to rebuild the buildings, save the facades, and start an entertainment district here that was totally different from being the main street of the commercial and shopping district of Memphis. So in 1983, Beale Street reopened and rebranded itself as restaurants and entertainment. Now there's over 25 restaurants here. It's the largest revenue-grossing tourist attraction in the state of Tennessee. Now some of these buildings behind us right now, this one's gone now. It was Emmett Ashford's saloon right here, and then you had the Club Handy and the Monarch Saloon, and that's where people went to die. They said there's a lot of vice and gambling and prostitution here. Of course, the New Daisy opened in 1941 as a movie theater, and then it became an entertainment complex like it is now. Over here was, again, the Gillis brothers were a grocery store and a pharmaceutical business over here. Again, not your typical restaurants or bars like you see today. A whole commercial use at the time. Buildings have been resaved, and again, most of these are filled up now. And Beale Street is now the home of the blues and the crossroads of America's music. My own connection to Beale Street, 1983, when Beale Street reopened, I was with the Memphis Park Commission, and we were managing Handy Park there in the center of the street. It actually opened in 1930. The Handy statue got placed there in 1960. And we had to try to figure out how to have events in Handy Park while you had restaurants over here as well competing and wanting the business and how to sell beer and how to close the street. And that was in the 1980s, 35 years ago. And obviously we somehow worked it all out. And then in the 1990s, I came to work for the Performer Entertainment Real Estate Company that was running the operations of Beale Street, and got be in charge of these barricades and the festivals and the security and the common area maintenance. So I've seen Beale Street from several angles, in and out. Still a good customer of Beale Street. Have a lot of friends here on Beale Street, such as 333 Beale right down here, the Ernest Withers Collection. When I was running museums, Ernest Withers was one of our best photographers in Memphis, along with the Hooks brothers. In fact, the Hooks brothers' motto in photography was, where there's beauty, we'll take it. Where there's none, we'll make it. And that was their slogan. So they always had catchy slogans here and great photographers, and this was the nightlife place in Memphis.